I have a plant. His name is Sammy. I love Sammy with all my heart. You see, it wasn't as if Sammy was forced onto me to take care of. He was a choice, a very good choice that I made. I was going through a very tough time that can't be described with a specific word, sentence, or even feeling. People say a depression is a sadness that lasts for over 2 weeks, but that minimizes what people go through during the period in which they are depressed. One day during this difficult time, I was in the library, unconsciously admiring the librarian's plants, when I hear the question, "Do you want one?" I look up, and Terry, the librarian at my school, said, "It just looks like you want one." I thought for a second and proceeded to happily say yes. She told me to come back the next day and she would have one ready for me. You see, Sammy is a water plant, a spider plant specifically. But the plant I saw in the library was in soil. It was very big with many leaves. So when I came back the next day after school to pick up my Sammy, I was surprised to see he was in a tall, skinny, very sad Starbucks cup with water filled all the way to the top. Now, I wouldn't say I was angry. I was very grateful, but I was also sideways smiley face. I wanted Sammy I wanted Sammy to be as big as the plant in the library. I thought taking care of Sammy would be simple. Water the plant, put it in the sun. I did not water the plant, and I did not always put him by the sun. Sammy didn't grow. He actually began to die. Spring came around, so I set him outside. I still forgot to water him. So one day I decided to pot him. He was still very small. Truly, I had gotten ahead of myself. I set a timer to remind myself to water my Sammy every 3 days. He began to grow and grow and grow. I celebrated each and every one of his leaves. By the way, he now has 13, and he and he turned 2 in February, which we celebrated together. All right, so you may ask, what does Sammy have to do with Avid? Transitioning from middle school to high school, I believed I was ready to leave my mother's house and take on the world. I wanted to be a plant in a big pot with a lot of leaves, but a tremendous number of things needed to happen between then and now, a very significant one being growth. To me, Avid is growth. It was a crucially needed part of my growth. Growth isn't something that occurs overnight. It is day-to-day trial and error, and it is always trying to be better than yesterday. You see, like taking ownership of Sammy, enrolling in Avid was a choice, a very good choice that I made. In the 9th grade, our instructions to grow are our assignments, things such as planner checks, binder checks, going back to notes, and studying for our tests. In Avid, we celebrate with each other no matter how small the achievement, like acing a quiz or having a week's worth of perfect attendance. I celebrate each and every leaf my Sammy has grown and will grow. Big steps like putting Sammy in a pot with only 3 leaves are the jumps we take in Avid when we place ourselves in AP and IB classes. We may not be ready, but we are always ready to adapt. To move forward and progress as a child, a student, a plant, an adult, and even in relationships, the earth and all, you need to grow. And to grow, it is the celebration of the little things. Things like completing a midterm with a 3.0 or growing a leaf. It is a strong support system like my Avid classmates and teacher are to me, or I am to Sammy. It is discipline and rising to the occasion when you don't feel ready, such as when you are placed in AP classes or only potted when you're 3 leaves big. You see, even when you're in a big pot and you have a lot of leaves, you still have room to grow. Thank you.